Okay, for number 11, we have to read this carefully because sometimes these kind of word problems can be confusing. So let's read it. It says, the value of 2 times 10 to the 14 is blank times the value of 4 times 10 to the 6. Now that blank is a variable. We don't know what it is. And we know that it's times, which means it's multiplication. So we're going to be multiplying x, or some variable, times 4 times 10 to the 6. So let's set this up. The wording is 2 times 10 to the 14 is, or equals, a certain number times 4 times 10 to the 6. So this is a mathematical way of expressing what was just read in this sentence. Okay, so we have 2 times 10 to the 4th is blank times the value of 4 times 10 to the 6. All right, so we're going to be solving for x here, and we can do that by dividing 4 times 10 to the 6, which cancels those out, gets x alone, and we're going to divide by 4 times 10 to the 6. Now, I forgot my 14 here. Now, another way to read this, just to understand, is when we have a blank and it says times, we know we're going to have to do the opposite to figure out the blank. So we could just realize that we're going to be dividing 2 times 10 to the 14 divided by 4 times 10 to the 6. But I want to show that this blank is a variable and we have this keyword times in our full sentence here. So I am taking a couple of extra steps here, but this is our final setup. We're going to have, just to set it up a little more clearly here, we have x equals 2 times 10 to the 14th power divided by 4 times 10 to the 6th power. All right, and we've seen this before in division with with exponents. So if you remember, we're going to be subtracting 14 minus 6 in our final answer. So 2 divided by 4, well, that's easy. That's 1/2. And I'm going to show that in decimal form since scientific notation uses decimals. So 0.5 is 1/2 times 10 to the 14th power minus the 6th power. All right, so that's going to equal 0.5 times 10 to the 8th power. Okay, however, we're not done yet. We have scientific notation, it needs to be correct. So this decimal has to be on the right-hand side of our whole number here. So that's going to be 5 times 10, and when we move the decimal once this way, we take away 1 here, so it's going to be 5 times 10 to the 7th power. And that's our final answer.